I need the scoop.
A father's obsession with throwing away his family's belongings escalates to destroying $3,000 worth of medical equipment. Today, we're diving into a Reddit story that has everyone questioning the limits of controlling behavior in a household. Get ready for a tense family confrontation where one daughter stands up against years of destructive patterns, revealing the shocking power dynamics that have kept this family walking on eggshells.
To keep this short, my father has a habit of throwing other people's things away without asking. Few examples: I brought a kebab for lunch one day but didn't finish it and planned to have the other half for dinner. I put it in the fridge at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. By 7 that evening, I came down and it was gone. I asked if someone ate it and my dad just said I threw it away. When I got mad, he said, "Don't leave half-eaten things in the fridge." In my country, if you collect cans or recyclable bottles, you can trade them in for 10 cents each. My mother had a whole basket she had been collecting that had about 80 cans in it. She kept it in the garage and one day she came to find it was gone. She asked my dad and he said he threw it away. My mother was mad not because of the money, but because she spent time collecting them and he didn't consult her before throwing them out, nor did he care. My dad usually waits to throw things out right before the trash is collected so we can't retrieve it. He did that with my mother's cans, and when she came home from work, it was too late to get them, as she came home at 5 in the evening on a Friday and the trash had been collected at 10 that morning. We keep our sneakers and boots, shoes we don't wear often, in the garage. My mum bought a new pair of sneakers and put them on the shoe rack, so now she had 2 pairs. She went to work with the new pair and then came home to find her second pair were gone. She asked my dad and he said he threw them away. He didn't even ask if she was still going to use them, and they were $100 sneakers. Now, I kept my box of Invisalign retainers in a backpack in my room, hidden in the closet. Yes, I'll admit the backpack had some rubbish in it, 3 or 4 empty bottles of water and iced tea, and papers and books. Sometimes I can be messy, but I always clean out my bag every week and there wasn't any food in there. I came home from university yesterday to find everything in that bag gone, including the box of my 15 Invisalign trays. The only person who goes through people's stuff in my house is my father, and my mother has had Invisalign in the past, so she would know not to touch my box. I know he threw them out because I searched my entire room for them and didn't find anything. I've never lost a box before. I always know where I keep them, so there's absolutely no way they vanished. I confronted him and he said he doesn't remember, he just threw what was in the bag away. I'm absolutely furious. Not only did he just go into my room and throw them away, but he's refusing to pay to have them replaced. And it may be up to 3,000 Australian dollars, as my health insurance doesn't cover lost or damaged Invisalign. My father said I'm disrespectful for confronting him and being so angry, as well as demanding that he pay the cost of replacement. What do I do? This was my last 15 trays as well. I was due to finish by June after 2 years of treatment. Now I'll have to wait and pay extra all because he threw my stuff out. Also, my father has not paid a single dollar for my Invisalign treatment. I'm 19 and paid $9,000 for it, plus $1,000 for tooth extractions I had to have as my mouth was too small for all my teeth. None of this is covered by private health insurance, so I have spent $10,000 on my teeth, all of my own money, because they have been a huge insecurity of mine and also have affected the way I eat. One more thing, the box is clearly labelled Invisalign, and it has my full name on it. It wasn't some random black box that could have had anything in it. Anyone who can read would know that it was an Invisalign box, and it was heavy as it had 15 aligners in it, so the excuse of "I thought it was empty" is not valid either. I know my mother and I are tired of his behaviour, but my father is not a nice person and is quite angry. If we try and speak up, he will either dismiss us or get verbally abusive or even physically threatening. He almost lost it at my mother when she was asking why he threw away her cans. And she wasn't even shouting, she was just asking why. We are a house full of girls excluding him, so it's tough. He has an insane habit of throwing things out in the fridge. No one in our family has time to cook every day, so usually we cook in bulk for 3 days, then cook again. If I cook pasta and he sees it in the fridge for more than 1 day, he just throws the whole thing out. Once I bought garlic mince, it was brand new, and I had only used it once before he threw it out, even though the expiry date wasn't until next year. He said it was cluttering the fridge. I bought tomatoes to make pasta and lasagna for a friend's dinner. I bought about 4 tomatoes plus the ones I already had in the fridge because they weren't going to be enough, and he threw the ones we already had in the fridge out, although they were still fresh. I wish I could throw his things away to teach him a lesson, but he'd beat me if I did that. Unfortunately, I couldn't retrieve my Invisalign from the trash bins either. Our trash gets taken away on Friday, I realised on Saturday, and checked the trash, but there was nothing there.
The community rallied behind the original poster, with many readers sharing their own experiences with controlling family members. As tensions mounted at home, the original poster faced a difficult decision about confronting her father directly about his destructive behaviour. 2 days after sharing her story, an unexpected development would change the course of this family conflict.
I have a bittersweet update about my situation. The sweet part is that I called my dentist and explained everything to them. They told me not to worry and that they will replace all the aligners for free. They'll be ready for pickup next week. The dentist sympathised with me and my situation and acknowledged that I am a good patient without any prior history of losing or damaging my aligners. Unfortunately, it will add some time to my treatment, but only an extra month or so, which I am fine with. The bitter part involves confronting my father. My mother and I tried to be civil and just asked why he threw out my Invisalign aligners and if he knew how expensive they are. He completely dismissed us, became angry and walked away. We tried to reason with him, but he just scoffed and said, "I don't need this drama right now." A few hours later, my mother lectured him on how he keeps throwing our things away and that he has to put an end to this behaviour, or she will start throwing his things out as well. I was surprised because I expected him to start yelling, but instead he just watched TV and completely ignored her while she was giving him an earful. This morning he left the house before 6 because when my mother woke up he was already gone. He hasn't come home since or messaged us. It's now late afternoon and we have no idea where he's gone. He's unemployed, so I don't know where he could be, but honestly, I don't really care at this point. This isn't the first time he's thrown out our belongings. He's thrown away food from our fridge, recyclable cans that could have been traded in for money, and my mother's old shoes that she specifically said she wanted to keep for the gym while using her new ones for work. I suspect he threw away my Invisalign out of spite because he asked me to loan him $1,000 a few weeks ago, and I refused. Even though he knows you can't reuse or sell someone else's Invisalign since they're moulded directly to your teeth, he threw them away anyway. My entire family has had dental treatments. My mother had Invisalign 3 years ago, my sister had braces and now wears retainers, and my father himself had braces in his 30s and wore a retainer. He's very familiar with how these dental appliances work. He claimed he needed the money because he had no savings left after being unemployed for 6 months. I knew I would never see that money again, so I said no, especially since he wasn't putting any effort into finding employment. Despite the job market challenges, a man of his qualifications shouldn't be unemployed for that long. He's 54 years old, has worked in banks for over 15 years, and has 2 bachelor's degrees and a master's degree in finance, analytics and mathematics. He's lived in Australia for more than 20 years and has worked at top banks in senior positions. At home, I do the grocery shopping and pay for it. I clean on weekdays when I don't have university, and my mother deep cleans on weekends when she should be resting from working all week. My father occasionally does the dishes, but only because my mother and I got fed up with doing them when he was gone all day. Sometimes he takes my sister to her after-school activities, but that's only because my mother is still at work, so if he doesn't take her, no one will be able to. I believe his behaviour is less about money and more of a power trip. He seems to enjoy seeing us frustrated.
Sometimes the most damaging control tactics are the ones that seem small but accumulate over time, slowly eroding trust and security within a family. Subscribe to stay updated if this ongoing family situation develops further. Share your thoughts on setting boundaries with controlling family members in the comments below. And check out our recommended video for more stories about standing up to toxic behaviour patterns.